Man, I can't tell you the last time there's been any show or any, movies are different, but week to week show. See, here's the thing. I don't watch shows like this typically, week to week, right? Any of the shows that I've ever watched, they're either show, I've been getting into Stranger Things, right? I'm working through Stranger Things. Well, I've got 4 seasons to sit and binge. I'm a binger, right? Yep. I don't like to wait. I'm a very impatient person.
Well, and we've become that way in the past few years with streaming, right? We haven't had to wait for that next episode of Bonanza when it comes on CBS next week or...
Yeah, but I think I've always been like that. If I think back to, with very few exceptions, any shows that I was into were not shows I had to wait for. Right? It was either all reruns anyways, playing every night, or whatever it was. Yep. But I just, I think back when you did have to wait for shows, I just didn't really get into shows. And so that's... I'm struggling here. The MCU shows, it's okay, it's week to week, and I have to wait next week for the next episode. And it's exciting because they're all kind of water cooler shows, right? But for the most part, those are limited series, and when it's done, and there's no waiting for the next season, and there's another MCU show right around the corner, so you're still kind of getting that fix anyways.
Right.
I'm really struggling week to week, waiting for another episode of this show, and I am dreading, I've never dreaded many things before, the time between seasons. It's going to kill me, man.
Oh, man. Well, welcome to the show.
I messaged you... Wait, no, stop.
I'm going to say, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Movie Bed Podcast. I'm Pete. My soon-to-be on life support friend and co-host is Brady. Sorry, continue your thought. Did
you know earlier this week when I did the first couple episodes with Carl, he made me introduce myself?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That son of a gun.
You didn't know what to do. You're
nothing. Yeah, it was all of a sudden, I was I've done 210 episodes this way. I don't know how to introduce myself. Yeah. I see now. I don't know what I was saying. Oh no, I messaged you on. Now I remember. I messaged you on Sunday. The show comes out Fridays.
Yeah.
And I messaged you Sunday.
And I think it was early Sunday too. It wasn't 9 p.m. It was morning.
Yeah, I'm hurting, man. I need more Rings of Power.
And I still hadn't seen the newest episode yet.
Yeah, you're I don't know. You still haven't. You're just going to wing this.
Yeah, that's right.
So, no, it's needless to say, I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, I thought this episode was awful.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid like I was in episode 2 and episode 3. But we'll get into it. Well,
what about episode 4?
So, listen, let me...
Because we're here reviewing episode 5, right?
I know. Okay, let me just say in a nutshell, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty as we usually do, and as we should. I don't think the show's bad, but the juices that were flowing in episode 2 and episode 3 have not been flowing in episode 4, and specifically and especially in episode 5.
Fascinating.
I watched the end of episode 5, and I there's those certain not clickbaity, but shows like The Walking Dead that went on for 14 seasons. And you would get 2 minutes of this is interesting, and then the whole episode where they wouldn't answer or address any ongoing questions, and then the last 2 minutes they'd kind of tease you a little bit, and then you go to the next episode. I got some vibes of that, just going, episode 2 really lit the fire of some of these underlying storylines, and episode 3 really lit that fire, and I've just been waiting for episode 4 to kind of take that torch and move it forward, and same with episode 5. And like I said, there's nothing bad about these episodes, but they definitely have been just kind of not really moving things along, and just I'm just waiting for something monumental to happen that's been, episode 2 and 3 has teed up, and instead it's just been still waiting and waiting and waiting, and it just seems like filler or minuscule things are happening to maybe some ultimate build up and climax in episode 8, and I'm just a little disappointed in that vibe that I'm picking up on, how I'm perceiving it.
Yeah, because I thought there's a lot that goes on in episode 5 that is a big deal.
We'll get into it. All
right. How do you want to do this?
You have been the master at arms. I've been okay with the way you're doing it. So if you have a list of things, that's fine by me. But how?
Okay, yeah. I think it might be a little less structured this week.
That's fine.
But I'll certainly try.
Yeah.
The Hobbits are back.
They were. Yeah.
Much to your chagrin.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't particularly hate their experience or my viewing of them this week. It was fine. It was okay. I understand listen, okay, I guess this gets back to the problem. Didn't have problems viewing them. Visually beautiful scenes, climactic scenes, but not a lot is revealed about the Meteor Man. Maybe some little tidbits and sprinkles here and there, but we're really not blowing the door down about answering any of these questions.
But I mean, would you want them to? Like, would you at this point want to know exactly who the Meteor Man is and everything there is to know about him?
Sure. Absolutely.
Really?
I'm not saying that sarcastically, because you raise a good point. Like, would the wind be taken, like, would the sails, sorry, I'm blowing that metaphor. Would the wind be taken out of those sails? Mm-hmm. And it's a valid question. I would lean towards no. Like, I'm jumping to Star Wars again because I was listening to what some of you and Carl were talking about, and I'm thinking about Rogue One, the movie where you see Darth Vader on Mustafar, and I'm just picturing, yes, if we get this answer that it is Gandalf or it's
Radagast or
whoever, I still think there's definitely ample opportunity to have cool moments, cool vibes, cool dialogue of just not having a surprise anymore, but just moving past the surprise and us going, ooh, this is interesting, and then biting into something else. Similar to Rogue One, where, you just get more information or more perspective from a character that from a different point in time.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well,
it's a valid question. I'm not confident to say, I'm not confident to say 100% tell us, because without the surprise, it would be okay, but I'm at the point where I think I want to move on from the surprise.
Okay, well, speaking of the Meteor Man, for English being such a hard language to learn, he is picking it up like nobody's business.
Right? Yeah.
Like, we've gone from grunts and like, he's very much, this thing starts out and he's very much 11 from season 1 of Stranger Things. Right? He's like, what's friend? Right? Like, he doesn't know anything.
Friends don't lie.
In this episode, it starts out and he's sitting on a rock and he's like, to be or not to be, right? Like, he's got, he's picking it up fast, which, I mean, if he is an Astari, if he's this, like, divine wizard being guy, then yeah, I mean, it behooves him, certainly, and behooves whoever sent him for him to be a quick adapter and be able to speak the common tongue. So that's a thing. We get a glimpse, we get another gorgeous map shot. Oh man, the map shot flyovers are what I'm here for. Like, day and night. And we kind of get a little bit of an idea of where the hobbits are migrating. Not necessarily where they're headed to, but kind of like where they're at that point in their journey. And they are close to, so they're kind of, the map shows us that they're sort of on the right hand, they're on the east hand side of the Anduin River. And there's a spot there, like sort of just northeast of where the Argonath, the two, the two kings with their hands out, sort of just northeast of where that will end up being built.
Very cool.
But there's a spot there that like they're kind of headed through this. They're in this like super marshy area, and it's labeled on the map the Gray Marshes, and that's pretty significant because after the War of the Last Alliance, that will go on to be called the Dead Marshes.
Interesting.
Which many people like, so that area will grow, and technically what they're showing right now is larger than it should already be. So there's the Lord of the Rings movies do a really shit job of explaining the Dead Marshes, right, and why there are just all these bodies floating in the marsh, right?
I mean, isn't it self-explanatory?
Well,
no, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, because
no, it's not.
Like in theory, yeah, they all just die and then they were left there. But it's like, why? Why leave your kings and your whatever just floating in the like? Come off it, man. But no. So what actually happens is they are buried in proper graves, and then the marshes over time expand and consume those graves. And that's why there's all these bodies floating in the water. They weren't, when they were put in the ground, that wasn't marshland. There was adjacent marshland, but that marshland kind of expands and, whatever. Yeah. And by the way, my shout out to Marshall. I feel like I've never said that. You say that all the time.
That's my bread and butter.
That is your, okay, you say it. You say it and then I'll explain why.
Shout out to friend of the show, Marshall.
Yeah, he's... sometime in the near distant future, he will be giving me his superfluous copy of the Silmarillion. At which point, I mean, I'm gonna be, unstoppable in that, because a lot of what's in there I already know, but it's kind of like knowing Bible verses without being able to flip open your book like a pretentious asshole and be like, see as Peter said, and the blah blah blah. So this will be like you'll hear lots of rustling of the pages, and much of my week is going to be eaten up by cross-checking facts. And I
have to say that will be a tongue twister. The superfluous script of the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion, yeah. So then we see some like super pale culty people checking out the crash site of Meteor Man.
Culty?
Well, they're a little culty, right? I don't know. You look at that and you think they don't belong to a cult?
I mean, so I guess the way to phrase it, if you were walking from your favorite shawarma place after, sunset, and you saw these people in an alley, would you think they're in a cult? I guess, yeah, the answer is probably yes.
Oh, absolutely. I look at them and I think at some point in your near future, Jim Jones is going to say, Kool-Aid time, hope everyone likes grape. Like, that is, like, hands down, they are cultists. They have to be. But what's most interesting, I have no idea who these people are. I recognize the one, we get the close-up of the bald chick with the melanoma. And she's in the trailer, so that was a shot that I'm familiar with. But something we didn't see in the trailer is that they're there and they're clearly studying the crash site, right? And
clearly
bearing a shield that has the same constellation that Meteor Man is looking for. So these guys, whoever they are hot on the trail of Meteor Man, and it might spell disaster for our dude. Yeah. So hard to say. Adar. We catch up with Adar, who you were disappointed with.
Right. The leader of the orcs.
Yeah, you wanted him to be...
I still on my mind keep thinking you're referring to the elf, and his name is like Anduhar, or it's something in my mind that's similar.
Something like that. The black elf. Like that.
Yeah, sorry. That's why I was drawing
the Sylvan elf, I believe he is.
Yeah.
I believe he's a Sylvan elf.
back to your question, Andahar. He just wasn't visually what I was hoping he would be, right? And stylistically hoping he would be,
right? So he has a sort of on the beach moment with an orc. He's like, man, I wish you could feel the sun the way I feel the sun, right?
What do you mean by on the beach?
Well, I don't know. He's a sunophile. He likes the warmth of the sun. I don't know. That's something you do at the beach, right?
It was a little weird though, because it's just weird. Like, he wanted to have a moment where they were sharing sensory similarities, but at the same time, he's like, "Let me burn your flesh."
Oh, he was totally looking to rub lotion on each other's backs. Yeah, that's what that was. But
I'm not sure about that. I don't think so.
But he references the sun soon. Like,
yes.
That soon that won't be an issue. Mm-hmm. And here he's not talking about the sun being gone, but he's talking about the sun being obscured in the sky permanently over the land that they're in, which is Mordor. Yes. And I believe, and this is sort of personal belief combined with book lore, what's going to do that will be an eruption of Mount Doom.
Oh.
Right, so it spits all the ash and shit up into the sky, and because it's not just your garden variety volcano, that
makes
crap
sense.
kind of never goes away.
I don't know why I never connected the dots, but that would be that is a super logical approach to what happens.
Because there's lava all around the base of Barad-dûr, and the whole land looks like it's been burnt and is covered in sort of like this volcanic rock and stuff like that. So I think that's what'll happen. I don't know. Like, they're talking about these tunnels. Like, they've been working hard on these tunnels, and I don't know what exactly the purpose of these tunnels are. It could be just that they are a mode of transportation for the orcs so that they can travel quickly and through the day without getting burned. But it may also have to do, like, they may be trying to trigger the Mount Doom eruption.
Oh, okay.
And this scene kind of makes me wonder that, just because it's like, in the same conversation where the orc says, like, the tunnel's been completed, that's when Adar says, like, soon this won't be an issue.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm excited to see Mount Doom erupt, if that's in fact what's going to happen.
Right.
Then we head back to Numenor, and Isildur is relentless to go to Middle-earth. Like, he approaches his father, Elendil, and he's like, "Hey, send me to Middle-earth," and Elendil's like, "Nah, no." And Isildur's like, "Please," and Elendil's like, no. And so that kind of, that's a little sour for him. Pharazôn is definitely scheming, and is definitely not to be trusted, right? Like, it's made perfectly clear in this episode that he, unlike Muriel and her father Tar-Palantir, Pharazôn is no lover of elves.
Oh, yeah. No.
He will not take an order from an elf. And his son is damn well aware of that. And so he is cousin. I don't know if they've explained this in the show. I sometimes like, the line between what I know and what is shown in the show gets blurred for me. But Pharazôn is the cousin of Muriel.
Who?
Do they explain that?
Oh, no. I don't know if they actually explain that or not.
Yeah, so they're cousins. And in the books, he sort of forces her into, even though they're cousins, forces her into marriage.
Yikes.
Sort of as a way to maintain and secure his power in Numenor. Right, so now he's kind of in by marriage. And will, for a time, rule Numenor. So that's it's all kinds of icky. I don't know if Amazon will show that, like an incestuous marriage. If they do, good on them. But my guess is they're a little uptown for that. You know. So then we see the hobbits. We go back to the hobbits, and the hobbits have reached the edge of a pretty wicked-looking forest. Mm-hmm. And one of the hobbits says, "What evil has led us to come here?"
Yes.
Which reminded me of Gimli's line from The Two Towers when he's like, "What madness drove them in there?" And he's referring to Fangorn. And this certainly looks Fangorny.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what they're saying, you know, that at this point somehow 8 weeks have passed and they've made it all the way to Fangorn from where they were.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I'm guessing that's the forest they're walking through is in fact Fangorn Forest. The other possibility, based on where they were...
Sorry, I did pick up on that reference as well, and that would be juicy.
It would be. The other potential, based on where they were, and possibly more likely, because it would not have required... traversing across the Anduin, would be that they are at the southern borders of Mirkwood.
Oh, okay.
So that's also possible, but we don't know. We don't know what forest they're in quite yet. But it turns out these hobbits are cutthroat because there's a hobbit named Malva who wants the wheels to be sabotaged on the Brandyfoot's caravan wagon.
Yeah.
Because they're just a little bit slow. And like...
We've known they've been cutthroat for a week or two now, though. Like, even
but not to even just when extent.
It was... just the concept of, like, we're all going to portage together... And if you don't keep up, well, rip. Like, just the fact that they have a list of like, oh, here's all the people we left behind and they got eaten by 17 wolves and we all laughed. You know, like, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to live here.
Yeah, it's not like felt like an extra level of like, there they are. Screw them right now. Get them. Get them.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I'm just saying it's in contrast to the Shire where you watch it and go, ooh, like I could see myself roasting up some potato stew and getting a good book and putting on a kettle of tea and a friend coming over and having a brew with them. Like with this, it's like you keep it. Don't want to be part of your clan anyway.
Yeah, because literally, you reach the Shire and the only dick there is Farmer Maggot, presumably, right?
Is he, though? Like, he's protecting his crops. That seems...
Yeah, with a scythe? Like, what is his plan?
Listen, maybe he was sharpening it anyway.
Maybe. Then we see this, like, a really entertaining scene, but a scene that leaves me logically scratching my head, which is the fight demonstration with Galadriel. Who is my favorite character in this show, by the way, is Galadriel. Sure. Which is convenient because she's the main character, so I feel like that
is a good sign.
It worked out. It's a great scene. It's really fun to watch. The choreography is fun.
Sure. But
logically, like, so what happened? Because, like, one guy does get a I don't know, a hit. Right?
Kind
like he slices her arm a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, bully for him, he gets promoted. But my thought is like, what would have happened if how confident was she that she was not about to become beheaded?
I mean, when you've got 1,000+ years on top of someone else, I feel like you got some confidence.
Oh, for sure. And like Galadriel is older than the moon, right? Like she's been around. She's one of the oldest elves, for sure. But I don't know. Like what happens? So what happens? What happens if she dies in that scene? Would they all still would they carry on the quest and go to Middle Earth? Or are they now like, oh, well, dodged a bullet there, I guess?
I think, so it's a good point. I mean, I guess the question you're raising is, Galadriel maybe should have looked in the mirror and said, maybe this isn't the time because I've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
But I also think the nature of this game would have, like, someone would have stepped in, like, before she was beheaded or some such, and I don't think it would have gotten to the point she would have been killed. They would have just said, hey, she lost.
Yeah, I mean, but it was like 6 against 1. Like, who's going to step in?
That's fair. Hopefully someone with a cooler head. I will say, I thought the opposite of this scene. Like, yeah, it was cool stylistically, and yeah, Galadriel's a badass, but just something about it felt off to me. Like, when I'm watching this scene, it feels less in the same cut of a epic Lord of the Rings moment where it's building character and building depth and rich. And it seemed more out of a video game sequence of like, oh, okay, we're between really big battle sequences in this video game based off a movie. We need to kind of make something up just for the user to kind of have a bit of an action sequence. All right, here, we'll have her walking past on the street, and here's like a little side quest where she has to, you know, duel out with these random nobodies, and, you know, winner gets to be a lieutenant or something. Like, some part of it just seemed a bit forced and out of place, but, you know.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But it was still fun to watch. Sure,
I mean, yeah.
From a choreography standpoint, it was beautiful.
And from a like, use this as an example to represent the whole show. Like, use it as a microcosm. There's, like, I don't think this episode was bad. I don't think this scene was bad. But I do wonder if I could have had different utilization of scenes and characters and moments to further stories or further the story than it did.
Sure. Oh, okay. That's fair. Shortly after this, Muriel says to her father, Tar Palantir, hey, guess what? I'm going to Middle-earth. And he's like, no. No, don't do it. Don't go, because all that awaits you there is darkness. And Tar Palantir, like, the translation of his name does mean, like, foresight. And so I'm wondering if this ties back into like his specific use of the word darkness, and based on where they're going, which is Asteriath, which is sort of like on the border, southern west border of Mordor. I'm wondering if this plays back into the notion that Mount Doom is going to erupt. Like, I wonder if he's had a vision.
Interesting.
Right, that's going to happen, and there's going to be all this darkness.
Yeah, or just in general, with Sauron being darkness, it's hard to say literal, metaphorical, what he was seeing.
Yeah, I mean, let me have my fun. You know, who knows?
I think you're right. It was definitely the volcano thing.
Back to the bane of the show for you. We see Meteor Man freezing some water.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Healing himself. Freezing some water.
Yep.
And Nori does probably the most boneheaded. Like, in what way is it a good idea to grab his arm in this moment?
Yeah, it seems unwise.
Like, what was she attempting to achieve?
What's the best case scenario here?
Yeah, but obviously she gets a little spooked.
Yep.
By, being thrown to the ground. But that does get, like, he also saves them from these wolves.
Yep.
And so that, I think, has to be seen as a mitigating factor in his sentencing.
I don't know. These people are pretty unforgiving.
Yeah, well, jerks. Then we get to probably my favorite story progression of this episode, which is Durin sitting in Linden with Elrond and Gal-Galad, the king of the elves. Yes. And this is like such a hilariously tense scene because they're just taking shots at each other. Like, they're so hostile in this, like, elves against dwarves kind of thing, and they just keep sort of, like, taking shots at, like, elves are so slow at, blah, 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 and, like, it's just this constant back and forth. And then things become a little uncomfortable when Durin talks about how the table that they're eating on is made out of a material that is so dear to his people and are used for, like, funeral and, like, ceremonial purposes, that it's their use of it as a dinner table is like a misappropriation of this material. And Gal Galad is like, okay, well,
take it.
In sort of a very backhanded way, is like in a way that simultaneously shows his willingness to cooperate and that he's, air quotes, sorry. Also while demonstrating what little value that material has to him and his people, right? Like kind of diminishing. It says like, yes, well, we will make sure that it is sent back with you then, Master Dwarf, and blah blah blah. And I loved that. I thought that was so good. And then we find out shortly after that was all bullshit, which makes it like so much better that it's literally like that was the mic drop moment that Durin got he took the final swing in that proverbial battle. And it's so good. It's so good. We get a bullshit to canon explanation for why there is mithril in the Misty Mountains. And I say bullshit just because there's no trace of that anywhere in the lore, right? Okay. That is something that was sort of conceived for this show. I don't dislike it. I think there's some issues with it as far as like believing that one of the Silmarils was stuck in that tree, because supposedly we actually know the location of the 3 Silmarils, and one of them is not in that tree. So like, so that's a little screwy. But it is like, it's we get a beautiful shot of a Balrog, which here's the thing though, like this is one of those moments. So we've established that this show is not set in Peter Jackson's continuity. It's not. They're very clear about that online. Like the producers, the creators of the show are very clear about that.
Okay.
This is a carbon copy of Peter Jackson's Balrog.
Yeah, I would agree.
Carbon copy. This is the first thing that we've seen that is undeniably the exact same. Everything else is like, feels very similar. This feels like a carbon copy. And again, it makes me wonder, like, is that what it is? Or are both just so true to the clearly defined artwork that exists prior to either property?
Sure.
That they were bound to look the same in order to both be accurate.
It's a very interesting point. Like, it's hard to know.
Yeah, I don't know. We have a very tense scene between Elrond and Gal Galad, where he's talking about, like, Gal Galad is well aware of the mithril.
Yes.
And is trying to get Elrond to break his blood oath. It's not a blood oath. It's like his oath.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went straight to blood oath. Went to oath. And he's put in this really tight spot because the fate of his people, presumably, hypothetically, rests on their acquisition of mithril, which I don't fully track with.
I don't understand it.
Like, and I'm sure that's not a flaw of the show. I'm sure that's me missing something or not understanding enough. But yeah, I don't fully get it. But okay.
Without knowing more, this is where I would say the show is getting into a little bit of a hokey territory.
It's delving back into that area where if you don't know enough going into it, you're not going to get as much out of it.
Maybe.
But Elrond does not confess to Gal Galad that he knows about the mithril. I mean, he kind of does. He says, like, without saying yes, they found it. He basically confirms it in his unwillingness to talk about it.
Like, he might as well have said yes with how he responded.
Yeah. And then he approaches Durin, and Durin's response here is, at least for me, shocking. Because Durin kind of, he like takes a moment to, Elrond basically says, like, we need this secret, we need your stuff, you need to give it to us. And Durin kind of takes a moment to mourn the loss of what was going to be the dwarves' secret and greatest discovery, and still is. Like, that doesn't go away. But he just, like, friendship prevails, and he's like, okay, like, let's go get it. Yeah. And I think that was so cool.
It was heartwarming.
Yeah. Then Farazan's son is a dick and lights a boat on fire, and
again, this gets into the territory of what are we doing here? Like, this little subplot of Isildur's on the boat, he's not on the boat, he gets his way back on a boat because of someone else's antics, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, let's get off Numenor, let's advance in this storyline, let's stop pittering around.
I mean, I think they are, and like, we see them leave Numenor at the end of this, right? Like, the next episode will be sort of the colliding of our storylines.
But there's that whole adage of, like, it's better to stay too short as a guest versus overstaying your welcome. And I wonder, from a narrative perspective, if we've overstayed our welcome with Numenor and we should be moving on.
Maybe. Yeah, we've been there for 2 episodes now.
Oh, I would think it's longer,
3 episodes.
But I can't.
3 episodes.
2 or 3, for sure.
3, 4, and 5. Yeah, we've been there for 3 episodes.
True.
Which, with a show with only 8 episodes...
It's almost half.
That's long. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought they bought Isildur's story way too easily.
It is so, like, oh, yeah, okay.
Like, nobody saw the logic holes in that.
If you say so, Isildur. Whatever you say.
I don't get that.
There's not even a single follow-up question. It's just like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about is I have a new emerging Sauron theory.
Do you think it's Isildur?
No, that makes no sense.
Well, follow me here.
That makes zero. No, okay, try. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What is your theory?
Listen, we don't know much about Adar.
Yeah, and the only thing that we don't find anything out because we see the one individual pledging his allegiance.
The deserters, yeah.
The deserters.
Show up.
And he says, well, to the effect of something like, you are Sauron, aren't you?
Yeah, I pledge my allegiance to Sauron. You are Sauron, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then he gets killed. He doesn't get killed.
No, he doesn't.
The other, yeah. But, and then he's like, well, then I pledge my allegiance to whoever you are. Who are you?
Right. So, like, we get, I guess we'd either get a confirmation or to denial. Like, maybe I would lean towards it. He's probably not Sauron, but he doesn't say, we don't know. But what's your theory?
So, some lore about Sauron is that there's a line that Aragorn says in The Lord of the Rings, which is that Sauron does not use his real name and does not permit others to use it.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
And there's only a couple of instances where we see someone actually, it's like someone in cahoots with him actually use it. Like, one is like the mouth of Sauron and stuff like that. And so it's possible that Adar lost his shit because he was mistaken for Sauron. It's also possible that he is Sauron and lost his shit at hearing the use of that name.
Right. Yeah, no, I buy that.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think it could potentially be Halbrand. But who knows?
The reasons you gave were juicy. You know, the whole familiar with the Numenor, familiar with being a blacksmith, the mystery behind him. There's juice in that lemon to be squeezed out for sure.
Yeah. So
too soon to tell. Which, as a side note, I was a little confused by his backstory in this episode, where someone, I think it was Galadriel, or like, hey, let's have a discussion about your past, and then we got the weird shift in scenes to what I thought was him sharing something from his past, but it was of the current day deserters going to Andar. And so I found that a bit confusing, thinking that was about a sequence he was going to talk about when it was really alternative characters in the exact same timeline. So,
because his people had pledged their allegiance to Morgoth in the past, right? That was the...
Oh, okay.
Which was like Sauron's master before.
Yeah. Boss. And I mean that, and as a note, that scene where they pledged allegiance got like super dark. Like, we've seen some dark moments in Lord of the Rings, but like, make a blood oath and cut your own hand is basically the extent of what we've seen. And now it's like, just kill this boy.
Yeah. Because you're referencing the, we will serve Saruman.
Yes. The wild men, or the...
the guy, the gingivitis guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gingivitis Jim.
That's the sum of my notes. Do you have anything?
No, I would say that's about it. I mean, I would ultimately say this episode got a negative impact, or a stop sign for me, as far as would I rather rewatch The Hobbit or this. For this episode, I'd have to lean towards The Hobbit.
Interesting. So this is, that kind of answers my next question, sir. Is this a win or a fail for you?
I would say it's a fail, just a missed opportunity, or at least not progressing things forward as I would have hoped for.
Okay.
How about you? Obviously you're quite opposite, I think.
It's a total win. I think that's indicative of, arguably, I think, if we were to look at the stereotype, I think one would argue that you are a larger Lord of the Rings film trilogy fan than I.
Yep.
I think it's also fair to say that I might be a larger Tolkien fan than you.
Yes, I would tend to agree with that.
And I think that tracks with this, right? Like, the Lord of the Rings is the measuring stick that you are using to measure this series against. Whereas I'm going in more like, just give me Tolkien stuff. And unless it's truly horrendous, I'll eat it up.
That's fair.
So whether that's to my benefit or my detriment, who the hell knows? So, yeah. Wrap this up, sir, and then I have a special announcement about merch. So you wrap it up and then team me up at some point.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us this week. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a comment wherever you'd like on our episode page. Typically, Facebook is the best way to get a hold of us, Facebook and Twitter. Check out our socials for upcoming news of, upcoming votes and other episodes. And check out our Patreon. It's ways for us. We've got a lot of perks for voting power and for video streams when we do them for special occasions and different inputs of things going forward. And it's a way to just help support the show and pay bills. So we thank you for our existing Patreon supporters, and consider joining if you would like. And we also have a merchandise page, which Brady would like to tell you about.
Yeah, so not only do we have some pretty wicked awesome merch, but we have a new shirt that was kind of teased and came up with on the spot in an episode that came out just recently with Carl and I reviewing Andor. Ooh. So if you want your very own The Empire, a spoon in everyone's soup shirt, then check out the merchandise link below, because that's there, but is not going to be there for super long. That's going to be a limited thing.
Interesting.
So get it while it's there.
Get it while it's hot.
Hot.
Sizzling.
Cool. Send us off with something witty.
Something witty. I pledge my allegiance to...
I love it. No, stop. You can only make it worse. I love it.